Your anxiety is not a diagnosis. It's a conversation that you continuously put off because you are unwilling to visit your unregulated emotions, because it's so much easier to just medicate yourself or stimulate yourself in some type of way, because obviously we have medications for these types of things. I don't believe in them. I believe in actually going for a walk. I believe in actually solving the problem from the inside. But this chemical mystery that is being sold by like big pharma, for example, it's not a chemical mystery. It's literally your body trying to tell you, hey, this is what's going on, and then your brain completely de-edifying it because you were de-edified as a child. Yeah, like whatever the reason is, you are going to have to visit it, because at the end of the day, you visiting it or you not visiting it, both of these paths have consequences. One of them you would think would have a more positive consequence than the other one, but both of these decisions that we choose, they're gonna have consequences. And last year, life works in cycles, right? So I've been through this cycle multiple times. Last year, I was kind of going through this cycle again, and there was certain things that I was refusing to process, certain conversations that I was refusing to have. And these unregulated processes started to show up in my body. I started to break out in places, and I'm not talking like, I had a little rash here. No, I was getting sores all over my body that were bleeding and scabs that were falling off, and my whole body was bleeding. My nose was on fire. I was sick all the time. Even now, you can tell that I'm a little ill in my voice because I am sitting with myself and making sure, okay, what are the things that we're feeling? What are the things that we're thinking? What are the habits that that I have been refusing to let go of? And let's actually heal this from the inside. And when you do that, a lot of times I do actually see myself getting sick, because it's my body being like, wow, okay, I'm seeing what's happening. I'm accepting what's happening. Let's sit with it. Let's feel it. Let's have a conversation about it. And when you're ready to let go, my body actually lets go. And sometimes it lets go, right? I have to let it go through my nose, or I have to let it go through whatever, the tank. There's a difference between a regulated nervous system and gaslighting yourself into compliance. Working on regulating my nervous system has really allowed me to show up for myself with so much compassion, versus seeing how I operated with myself before, where I would try to gaslight myself into these behaviors, into these habits that were like good habits and things that I knew I needed to be doing, when really on the inside I was just talking so much crap to myself, and I was being so mean to myself because I thought I had to like trick myself into doing these really hard things, when really, again, the thing that I needed to do was so simple. Not easy, simple. It is so hard to sit with yourself and actually process all of these things that the people who came before you didn't process, right? Or all the things that you went through as a child that you shouldn't have had to go through because your parents didn't show up for themselves the way that they needed to. And I see, this is not to sit here and be like, now I'm gonna have to do all the work and be grateful that I showed up in the family line because you guys didn't want to do any of the work. Like, that is not the conversation that we are having at all. And in fact, me being able to understand that I'm able to show up for myself with compassion has given me so much more compassion towards everybody else in my life. And it has allowed me to remember that when you point one finger, all the rest of them are pointing back at you. So be extremely careful when you go pointing the finger, oh, it's your fault, and you're going to place the blame on somebody else, because you have just as much to take accountability and responsibility for inside of your own life. Even if you're not having those conversations with people outside of yourself, you better make sure that inside of yourself, you are taking responsibility and accountability for the things that you need to. At the end of the day, your external world is a mirror of what is going on the inside. So the fact that I'm able to show up with compassion for myself means that I'm able to show up for compassion for everybody else in the world. And for a long time, I wasn't able to show up with compassion for other people because genuinely I had no compassion for myself. But that's because I was just refusing to do that simple process. And instead I would let it build up and build up and build up and build up until literally my body could not hold it anymore. And the way that we choose to self-medicate shows up in so many different ways. Obviously, I do not believe in medication, right? Like going and getting diagnosed and actually medicating yourself. My mom took me when I was younger to get diagnosed. I was diagnosed with God knows what, so many different things. And I refuse to take the medication. I will not suppress. I want to feel the things that are inside of me. Why am I doing all of this meditation and this journaling and I have like 1,000,005 therapists and I go to therapy every single day of the week and I still feel like I'm on fire and I'm still having these crazy anxiety attacks because I'm not actually sitting with myself. I can go to therapy and great, I can talk through it with you, but until I am actually ready to resolve, and it's not even resolve because that like makes it some like big problem that you have to resolve. It's not something that you need to resolve. It's just something that you have to sit with, observe, and just let it pass. You don't have to sit there and judge yourself or just observe it. Just observe and let it pass. I don't believe in the medication. Let's circle back so we can close it out. I don't believe in medication. I believe in the power of the mind, right? So I believe that you could medicate somebody or give somebody some type of medication, and if their mind was thinking in reverse, the medication actually wouldn't do anything to the body because the way that you think and the power of the mind can outstump or outperform whatever physical thing you tried to give it. With that being said, just because I will talk my crap about medication and big pharma and da-da-da-da-da-da, I suppressed my emotions in other ways. I have gained and lost weight, I don't know how many times throughout my life. I was smoking cigarettes, doing drugs, and I'm not saying you can't enjoy life, but understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. And what are you running away from? I've just sat here and smoked half a pack of cigarettes. Christina, you do not want another cigarette. What is it that you're suppressing inside of your body? And you can even hear now I'm a little bit sick because just recently I just woke up. No more. No more. I'm ready to let it go. And I observed the things that I was refusing to actually sit with. And when you just observe it and you're like, indifferent about it, that's an incredible observation. Thank you so much for observing that with me, Christina. Let's let it go. That's no longer mine to identify with. I can let it go. No problem. And in having that conversation, my body actually lets it go and I get extremely sick. So I appreciate my illness, but I appreciate getting sick because I always know that when I get sick, it's my body giving itself permission to let go of these things that I suppressed for such a long time. Anxiety is not a problem. It's just a messenger. So quit sending it to voicemail and just observe the conversation. That's all. See you tomorrow.